Okay, welcome to another episode of Black Atlas Goings On. My name is Kenny, aka Black Atlas, and today we are doing something special. One of my favorite dishes. We are going to be doing some smoked pork belly. Now, what I am going to do is I'm going to get my own seasoning, blend together a few things that I like, get them in my spice grinder and then in my shaker. And then after that, we will get the pork belly out of the package. And then we're actually going to cut this in half this way to make it a little bit more manageable and then bring it down to size. So that way, once we are done, we can either do like some pork belly sliders or some crispy pork belly. I can fry it up a little bit on the griddle. So we'll see where we go from there. So, like I said, we're going to go ahead and get the spices in my spice grinder and in my shaker. And then we'll get the pork belly and seasoned and out of the package. Okay, so what we're going to do with the spices, we're going to start with a spice that I got not too long ago for a recipe that I needed. It's called Ras El Hanout. It is a Moroccan seasoning, so we're going to throw a couple little teaspoons of this in the spice grinder. Now, the ingredients that are in this are cinnamon, turmeric, coriander, ginger, cumin, paprika, black pepper, allspice, mace, cardamom, cloves, and nutmeg. So I want to see what some of this is going to turn out like on pork belly. So we're going to throw a couple teaspoons of this in there. And then next we are going to throw in some ground ginger. Then we are going to throw in some of the garlic and herb Mrs. Dash. We're going to throw in some of the caramelized onion butter. It smells delicious. Then some parsley and some basil. Then we are going to throw in some black pepper, kosher salt, and then we are going to throw in some Grill Mates, garlic, and crushed herbs. Okay. Those seasonings are in the grinder, so I'm going to go ahead and get those ground up and then get in my shaker. And then we will go ahead and get the pork belly out of the package, get it sliced in half, get a little bit of a slather on there so that way the seasoning will stick. And then I am going to top it all with Holy Gospel barbecue from Meat Church. This has a really good flavor. I like this. So, and it also has a really good color, nice mahogany color. So we're going to use that to top it so we can make sure we get that color at the end. Okay, so this is pretty ground up. Toss it a couple more times. All right, and now it is ground pretty fine. So I'll go ahead and get the lid on that. I will go ahead and get the spice grinder out of the way so I can get that cleaned in a little bit. And then we can move on to the pork belly action. Okay, we got the seasonings inside the shaker, and then we got the Meat Church Holy Gospel barbecue rub to top it with to get that nice mahogany color. Now it's time to get started with the pork belly, the star of the show. So I actually got this pork belly from my local Fairway. This is a half of a pork belly. This comes to 4.5 pounds. So this is almost a 5 pound pork belly. And it came to $17.96. So let's go ahead and get it out of the package and get it on the cutting board so we can cut it in half and get it seasoned and slathered up. Okay, so we have the pork belly sliced in half. And so what we are going to do is we are going to go ahead and get the slather on here and then go ahead and get it seasoned. Now, what I am actually using as my slather, it's called Melinda's Black Truffle Hot Sauce. Now, this is actually a really good hot sauce. I'm not putting enough on there where you'll actually burn your mouth or anything. It'll just add to the flavor, layers of flavor. Whenever you're cooking, you always got to add those layers of flavor. So I'm just going to put a thin layer on there just to make sure that the rub sticks, and then we will get out to the smoker. Now, this pork belly is also skinless, so it's just got the fat on the top that is not skin action. Okay, we got the meat slathered up on both sides and then actually all the sides. So it is ready for the seasoning and then the Holy Gospel barbecue rub. So we are going to go ahead and get a rack so that way we can go ahead and season the bottom and then the sides of the pork belly. And then when we flip it over for the presentation side and go to season that side, we can go ahead and already have it on a rack. So when the smoker is ready, we can slide it right in. So let's go ahead and get all that done. All right, let's go ahead and get one of these seasoned and then get it on the rack for the top. And then we'll go ahead and get the other one seasoned. So we'll go ahead and start with the sides. You can definitely smell that Ras El Hanout. You can smell the cinnamon, the clove. And pork belly, you can definitely be liberal when it comes to seasoning it. That first one's done, so let's go ahead and get the second one done. We'll do the same, start with the sides. All right, that is in on the sides. And then we are going to go ahead and, like I said, top it with the Holy Gospel barbecue rub. Also, don't forget the sides. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and press that in for a little bit. And then we are going to flip this over and get it on the rack. And then we are going to go ahead and get the seasoning on the top. And then we will go ahead and get the Holy Gospel barbecue rub on. And we're going to go ahead and get that patted in. And we are going to let that sit while we go ahead and get the smoker warmed up. Okay, the smoke is rolling. We are going to go ahead and get everything put back in here. And we are going to go ahead and get the pork belly put in there. So let's go ahead and get that done. Okay, here is what the pork is looking like before I put it in. So let's go ahead and get it put in the smoker. And now that's going to be in there at 250 for about 4 to 5 hours. So we're going to keep temping it. And what we're going to do is we're going to let it get up to about between 205 and 210. Then we're going to wrap it for about 15 minutes to let it cool down. And then we're going to slice into it. So I'll see y'all throughout the cook. Okay, here we are about an hour into the cook. So we're going to go ahead and take a sneak peek. And we're going to go ahead and temp it also so we can get a rough estimate of whenever we check it, which will be probably about every hour or so. We'll know what the temperature is going to roughly be. So let's go ahead and get them temped. All right, that is what they look like. Let's see if I can bring you in. That is what they look like now. And so let's go ahead and get them temped. All right, so the one on the left, this one, which is a little bit fatter one, that is reading at about 115. And then the little bit thinner one is reading at about 131. So let's go ahead and get this closed. And then we'll check it roughly around the 2 hour mark. Okay, so here we are at hour 2. Let's go ahead and get that temped and see where we are. Okay, here we are at hour 2, so let's go ahead and get these pork belly temped. It's at 169, sorry. And the smaller one is at 174. And that's 2 hours in. So we are going to let them keep going until they are around 205, 210. And then we are going to go ahead and wrap them for about 15 minutes or so, let them settle, and then go ahead and get the slicing. So I'll see y'all at hour 3. Okay, here we are at hour 3. So we are going to go ahead and temp the pork belly. At 2.5 hours, I did take the rack out and rotate it just so it gets cooked evenly. So let's go ahead and temp it. Those are looking amazing. So the smaller one is now on the left side. The smaller one is reading at 178, and the larger one is reading at 181. Well, we still got a little bit to go, so I will see y'all at hour 4. Okay, so here we are at hour 4. Let's go ahead and get them temped. Oh, and they are looking delicious. This thermometer is starting to go through like butter. All right, let's see what the actual temp is. The small one is at 194. Oh, 189. All right, so we will see y'all again in about an hour. Okay, here we are at the top of hour 5. So let's go ahead and get them temped. I got a feeling they're going to be pretty close to being done. Okay, they are both at 199 coincidentally. So what we are going to do is we're going to let them go for about another half an hour, 45 minutes, and then we'll check the temperature again. And then by that time, it should be time to pull them off and let them rest for a few minutes. I will see y'all in about a half an hour. Okay, so here we are at about 4.5 hours. It's actually 4 hours and 39 minutes. So what we are going to do is we are going to go ahead and temp it and see where we are and see if it's time to pull these out yet. It's going in like butter. All right, so the small one At one end is at 204. The other end is at 207. This side is at 207. And then the big one is at 205 and 208. So we are going to go ahead and get these taken out and put on the aluminum foil and wrapped for about 15-20 minutes, and then we're going to get sliced into them. Okay, so as you saw, the temperatures are over 205, so we are going to go ahead and get those pork belly slabs out, get them on aluminum foil, and get them wrapped up for about 15-20 minutes. Let's go ahead and do that. Here's what the big one is looking like. That fat is so juicy. And here is the small one. Just goes so down so far and just bounces right back. All right, so we are going to get these wrapped up and then let them sit there for about 15-20 minutes, and then we're going to go in and slice them. Okay, so here we are. We are done with the pork belly. It is done resting. So let's go ahead and get it out of this foil and on a cutting board so we can go ahead and get it wrapped. Okay, so we got the pork belly out of the smoker. It has been in the foil for about 20 minutes. So we are going to go ahead and get it out of the foil and get it sliced, taste it, see how it is. Okay, here is what it looks like out of the aluminum foil. It looks and smells amazing. So let's go ahead and start getting that sliced. Here it is, nice and glistening. Smells amazing. Okay, let's go ahead and get a fresh piece sliced and get that taste test in. It literally just falls apart. It's still piping hot. Here we go. That is delicious. And you can actually taste the Moroccan seasoning coming through. The Ras Al Hanout. You can actually taste that coming through, and it definitely adds to the flavor. Tastes delicious. And the fat just melts in your mouth, and it's so juicy. So juicy. So, with that being said, my name is Kenny, aka Black Atlas, and this has been pork belly done in the smoker my way. And until the next video, make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything to do any of those, but it does help out the channel. So those of you that have done that, thank you very much. Those of you who haven't done it yet, what are you waiting for? So with all of that being said, thank you again for watching. And until the next time, I'll catch y'all on the flip side.